Welcome to Offgrid Victory. So today's topic is kind of special for the coffee drinkers out there, and I wanted to talk to you about SHTF, okay, and what to do for things like coffee. One of the things is, people don't really talk about storing coffee as a prep item, but it's a valuable asset, I think, for when things are bad. I mean, it's kind of a comfort. It's also a good way to get caffeine into you to keep you awake and whatnot. And anyway, I want to talk about the best type of coffee to store long term. As people know, I mean, yes, the best tasting coffee is always fresh ground beans that are roasted, but because of the fat content in the beans, it does go rancid. I mean, over the years, I really wouldn't use coffee beans that I found were more than 2 years old. So it'll stay okay, but once it's ground up into fine powder, yeah, it really doesn't last. The beans don't really last more than 2 years. So the best way to prepare long term is this right here. And this stuff is freeze-dried instant coffee. And there's two brands that I like. This happens to be a Japanese brand, UCC, and this one is the tried and true Walmart brand. And that's what I would recommend for most people. And this is what I would stock up on, the Colombian bean coffee from Walmart. And I think that's the #1 prep for coffee that we can have long term. As you know, freeze-dried foods can easily last decades, right? So I have prepped freeze-dried foods, but also freeze-dried coffee like this. Because, yeah, it's kind of difficult to store beans and properly. And so to take all the moisture out of it, this thing will store indefinitely. And so, yeah, this is my, not the Stanley Cup that's very popular. This is just a regular Stanley Cup. At any rate, that's what I brewed here today. And the final thing I want to talk to you about in terms of coffee is kind of the last resort. And it's really not coffee. It's this guy right here. And that's the lowly persimmon seed. So according to some sources, they said in the Civil War they couldn't find coffee, and so soldiers would use persimmon seeds after they've eaten the persimmon fruit, and they take the seeds, dry it, and roast it to get something like this. And of course, this has been roasted and powdered up a little bit, but that's all from the seed. So that creates a coffee substitute. I would say it's more like a barley tea. So you can make that too in I guess, kind of an SHTF scenario if you have persimmon fruit-bearing plants like I do, the American persimmons. So that's one way, but really you're not going to get close to the real deal. So yeah, go get yourself some freeze-dried coffee and store that, and that'll be your survival stash. And of course, you can always barter this coffee, right? In hard times, people are going to want it. And so what a great way to store things long term. So get yourself some of this instant coffee, the freeze-dried coffee, and you'll be set. Alrighty, so